Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Kinprint. For all your company's promotional needs, they do it all. Apparel, promotional products using the highest quality brands. They do logo design, signage, and printing. Kinprint will promote your brand with excellence. Visit kinprint.ca. Happy Sunday night to you. Or if you're listening to this in podcast form tomorrow morning, happy Monday morning. Hope your week is off to a great start. Welcome to Got Your Back Sunday night live stream edition. Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown standing by. We love Sunday nights because quite often it means Brownie is able to join straight out of the booth with Reed and onto the Got Your Back set. Looking forward to checking in with Rob Brown. Got Your Back is always brought to you by Sherwood Buick GMC, the number one GMC volume dealership in all of Canada. Their Black Friday event, it was a monster. What a great looking crew. Look at some of those vehicles. It's just a fantastic spot. If you're looking for a vehicle, you got to go see Phil and the crew just off Baseline Road on the way into Sherwood Park. And if you mention that the crew here at Got Your Back sent you, you'll not only receive specialized pricing as a bonus, you'll also get 3 free ultimate detail packages on a new or used vehicle. GMCpod.com is the website to go check out. Once again, that's GMCpod.com. Coming to you from the Long Shot Studio out here in Sherwood Park. Sherwood Park's cheapest 20-ounce pints. You want great food, little golf action, Long Shots is the place to go. Okay, full complement. The entire crew is here. Brownie, welcome back to the podcast, buddy. How are you?
I'm a little upset.
Okay.
Jason Hayes left SEAL team today. He left his Bravo 1 in my TV show that I'm watching. So I was a little verklempt coming downstairs today.
Oh,
he's Bravo 1 SEAL
there,
team.
I think.
No, this was season 3. And it's on season 7. I usually wait until everybody watches all these things, and then I go back and watch it years later. So my memory, people tell me what happens, but I got no memory. So yeah, and it was tough. He's like Bravo 1, and he's off. So I have a feeling he's the star. He'll be back, but right now I'm a little verklempt, a little sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be disappointed with the Seinfeld ending.
Seinfeld's over?
Struddy, you got any good shows on the go right now, buddy?
No, I don't actually. You know what? It's funny. I don't. So I wish I had something good.
I might get chirped a little for this one, guys. Started watching it with Randine at her prompting, and then she tailed off, and I hung with it. Lessons in Chemistry over on Apple TV.
Yeah, I
Pretty
saw
good.
that. I
Don't know that one.
Stratty, I think it might be right up your alley, Stratty, because you like you like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and all that. Didn't you?
I know that
all
one.
that stuff.
Yeah,
Mrs. Maisel was good. Mrs. Maisel was good. Yep.
Yeah.
Producer coming in here, Shogger. We just finished that show. It's great. Lessons in Chemistry.
Did you, Steve?
Yeah.
You did.
Tom
You
and I just
missed
finished it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Classy.
All right. Well, we got late starting the podcast, so I guess we could sit here and talk about TV shows for a while, or we could get to actually talking about the game. So let's get to that breakdown of that 4-1 win by the Oilers over the New Jersey Devils. It's brought to you tonight by Adrenaline Diesel, Edmonton's heavy-duty diesel truck repair shop specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck and trailer repair, performance, tuning, part sales. They have 7 bays and a vast dealer network. Their highly reviewed customer support team and professional diesel mechanics ready to assist you with all of your needs. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca. What did you guys think? Brownie, I'll start with you. What did you think when Calvin Pickard was getting the start? Did you think the same thing I thought?
I was surprised. I do believe that they were going to give him a start, but I'm thinking, okay, he's your backup goaltender, hasn't played in a while. Your starter's playing great. You're having this great winning streak. Everything's going good. I thought Pickard would have played against Chicago. I thought Skinner would have went tonight and they would have saved. I mean, usually the backup plays against the teams that aren't as high in the standings. So I was very, very surprised by the start.
Struds?
I don't think anyone's learned about last year how Skinner ran out of juice. And I hear people saying, well, they don't have a back-to-back till end of December, or whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter. You have to manage him, not just for now, but for down the road. So I was surprised, but I was happy that he played. Now, looking forward, the way he played, I might roll him out there again Tuesday against the Blackhawks.
No, come on.
Why not?
Boo.
Did he not play well? Let me
He
guess.
played well.
You two guys want to call up Jack Campbell because he had one good warm-up 3 weeks ago.
No, I
That's
want to
probably
put the
what you guys are
starting goalie in, the starter, Stuart Skinner, the
donkey.
guy that's won the last 6 in a row. I'm going to play him. That's what I'm going to play.
I saw a GIF of Campbell making a nice save. He handed the puck back to the ref. But call him up. He's ready. He's ready, everybody.
Why so
That's
angry,
good.
Jason? Why so angry?
I know I'm right. There's not many things I know I'm right about. I can't wait to get my Strudwick's World later. I know I'm right about
You're
that.
right that they
is
should
for
play
sure.
Calvin Pickard in back-to-back games, and their
That's what I'm
star goalie, Stuart Skinner, should
right.
sit out a second game.
That's
know what?
exactly what I'm
Okay,
saying.
you know what, Struds? I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. So I'm not going to. You go with Skinner. He's like your starter. Why? Because he's your starter. You spell him with a Calvin Pickard start, which they did, and it was a great start. And then you go back to your starter. So that's what you do.
I did the math. There are 6 games left before Christmas.
Yep.
You sit the big guy being our good friend Skinner. He can probably roll out the rest of those games after. So that's what I'm looking at. Because who do you got? You got Tampa, and then you got Florida, and then you got the 3 New York teams. Are the New York teams, maybe there's a back-to-back in there. Maybe that's when the back-to-back is. So I'm looking long-term. You know, I have the ability to just stand back and see the forest for the trees. That's what makes me unique.
The only reason you can see that is because you're 6'10" tall. You are not seeing anything else right. You're going back with Stuart Skinner. Okay, you know what? Right. Mute Shoggy. Just mute him. Just mute him.
I can't mute him, but I would mute you too. That's all I have the technology for. You're gonna have to go to Steve in Kelowna to be able to mute Struddy. I can't do it. So lots of action on the stream here, and you're both right. You're both wrong. There's a bunch of, I agree with Struddy for once, says DK.
Oh, wow.
So there's somebody that believes there. Sorry, K. Gill says, sorry to all the haters on here, but Skinner is our starter, not Pickard. What else we got here? I agree. Start Pickard. Team rallied for him and saved Skinner for Florida and Tampa. Steve, I know I already put a poll in the chat, but maybe you could can you throw another one in? Should we poll the folks? Who would you start next game? Good. Let's just see, Struddy, if the bulk of the listenership is with you. Well, listen, I thought it was a bold decision tonight. Mm-hmm. I heard it, and Reed, I heard it. Reed, Rob, I heard you and Reed talking about it on my drive in, that he had jumped because I wasn't there for warm up, and I thought, oh, that is a bold decision. Like, interesting. It seemed obvious. Maybe the next one made more sense. Jersey's coming in, great power play. They got some snipers, some real nice shooters. I thought, wow. So I actually asked Chris Knobloch specifically about that. Why did he make that decision? Did I get an answer from him? Let me see here. No, I have an answer from him.
Oh, geez. A real lot of buildup, and then he doesn't answer the
question.
question.
There was, but then I checked my clip notes, and I feel like it's not there in my clip notes. Wow. So the penalty kill. I mean, he basically said because Skinner started the last game, and then it was an afternoon game on the Sunday. Of all of the games, that was kind of the least amount of time between the start times. Oh. So he and he liked, he liked the way he's looked. So I thought it was a good decision, and I liked it.
Let me just jump here. So this is why I want to play Pickard. I thought he looked very controlled and very managed. Everything was just hitting him. It felt like everything hit him in the crest. And you can say, well, maybe New Jersey wasn't, shooting for the corners, but he was in the right place. So, I think when you have that, you can give the big guy a break and put him in there to try to. I'm not looking to build up Pickard's confidence. I'm looking to make sure that the number one goalie, the guy that's going to take you into the playoffs, is fresher, because we saw last year he wasn't, and he can't play all those games, guys. So that's where it's coming from.
Well, here's Pickard post game. I do have him as we go to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. We're a mess here.
The last couple of weeks since I've played last, we've had some really good practice time, and I feel good about my game right now. So moving forward, this game's just gonna put that confidence in my mind and just go from there.
JC says an 887 save percentage is a star goalie, according to Brownie. You're getting chirped for your classification of Skinner as a star goalie.
Star goalie for the Oilers. He's the Oilers' star goalie. I'm not saying he's the National Hockey League's elite.
But Struds, I think your point is well taken, though, Struds. Whether they should start him in the next game or give him another start in the next 3, that might make a little bit more sense to your point, Struddy, is work him back in here in the next few games, and certainly don't make him wait so long for his next one, Struds. Fair enough, or no? Put him in against Chicago. Put him in.
Well, this is. I mean, if you're starting to schedule your starts based on the records, so now New Jersey isn't killing it, but they got a really good power play. Chicago, I think we know their standings, and they got Tampa, Florida. So if you just put this game aside and you look ahead for the next 3-5 games, where do you want them playing? I would want them playing against Chicago, and then put the next 2 on Big Stu. And hopefully you can have some success.
Moving on from that, let's talk about the penalty kill. They were 4 for 4 in this game against an elite power play in the league right now. Last 8 games played, they're 28 for 29. Think about that for a second. 28 for 29 on the penalty kill. Brownie, that is spectacular performance. And Chris Knobloch said he was going to do this, and he did this. He gave players roles, something to take pride in, and it's working.
It is, and I would say in the 7-game winning streak, there's probably been 2 or 3 games that their penalty kill has won them the game. Just at coming up with big kills at big moments. There's a couple of reasons their penalty kill is better. They're much more aggressive. They're getting saves, but I think the biggest thing is he's now putting out units, like 2-man units. So you know who you're playing with. And Struddy will know the best because he killed more, is if you know what your partner is doing, then there's no hesitation. It's all instinctive. So I'm already going in one spot. I know that I can go here because I don't have to think. I know he's going to the right spot too. And now when players are playing together all the time with consistency, then it's much easier. And now you're seeing that out there. The two forwards that are coming out together, they are in sync all times on the ice. And earlier in the year, and at times last year, it was a mishmash of who was out there killing, and they didn't have the chemistry. And Struds, to me, that is the biggest thing that I've seen with the penalty killing over this last little while.
Yeah, what a change for you. I mean, you started off the podcast with so many bad takes, and now you're absolutely on fire. And I'll just build on it. When I look at it, what I like about it is that when you're sitting on the bench and you see a penalty, you know you're going, right? You're not looking around. You're like, hey, this is the first unit, this is the second unit. And so you, and Brownie kind of alluded to it, you take ownership of it. This is mine. This is my time to contribute to the team. And you're seeing that. And the guys are going on, and the D haven't really changed a ton, but the forwards, we're seeing it. So I love this move by Knobloch, and it's such a simple one. And I think it was something we'd been talking about previously, and it wasn't a massive change. But I also think that I agree they're being more aggressive, but they're less spread out. It felt like previously they were so spread out that those passes are zipping through the slot. We don't see as many of those now, guys. 7
block shots for Darnell Nurse. A bunch of them, I'm sure, were on the penalty kill. Vinny Darnay had 6 block shots as well in this game. So that penalty kill, a real strength. And it's allowing the Oilers, not getting daggers thrown at them by the other team's power play. It's making a big difference, and it's grabbing the momentum at key points in games. It's just been such a strength. And a reminder, Mark Stewart. Talk about another bold move from the coach. Like, Mark Stewart hadn't done that. And, when Chris Knobloch got here, it was like, who are you giving it to? What are you doing with that? And he decided to just let Mark Stewart run with it. And he's given him credit for it. And he's done a fantastic job. So empowering his coaching staff too, in different ways. So you got to give credit to Stewart and to Chris Knobloch. We'll go to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here one more time. 25% off right now, all in-stock air conditioners. The offer is only available till we get 10 centimeters or so of snow on the ground. Don't think we're there yet. Take advantage of the crazy weather now, so when the crazy heat hits early next spring, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the comfort of air conditioning in your home. For details, visit wjcools.com. All right, Chris Knobloch talking about the job his team has done penalty killing.
Vinny and Nursey had a lot of block shots, broke up a lot of plays. The forwards, their angles, thinking about Brownie checking Hughes twice in the neutral zone, which is not an easy thing to do. And he managed to do it twice in the same power play. I'm very happy with the way those killers are going.
Definitely. Big strength of the team right now. What the heck was going on with Connor McDavid and Mike McLeod tonight, Struddy? Goodness. You don't often see McDavid. I wouldn't use the word bully very often for Connor McDavid, but he grabbed that guy's lunch money early and then grabbed his afternoon snack from him. And he was aggressive on that player all night.
Yeah, I think he was going after the brother so that his teammate would get pissed off and play the same way.
See what I'm doing to your brother? You go do that to other people right now. Go.
Yeah, no, it was, it's funny. Sometimes Connor just comes out and just starts hammering guys, right? And it's yeah. And not that he can do whatever he wants. I mean, he's fast enough he could hit guys all the time. He's so fast and gets around the ice, but I kind of like it. And I often wonder, especially when he does it early in games, if he's just trying to get everybody into it. Hey, look, I'm hitting. You guys better hit too, because that's the way it works, Brownie.
Well, it's true. And it's funny. One of the hardest hitters I ever played with or against was Jeremy Roenick, who wasn't big, but he's like Connor McDavid. He's an incredible skater with such core strength that when he hit you, he went through you.
He was an amazing hitter. Eh?
Oh, he was unbelievable. And
technically, he was so good.
And he hurt guys and surprised them because it wasn't this big monster coming at you. And McDavid's capable of doing that. It's really tough to sit on the bench if you're a third or fourth line guy and watch Connor McDavid go out there and bully guys or hit guys. And then you're next up. They're like, well, I better finish this check because their $100 million player just did it. So it was incredibly noticeable, Schauger. Sitting up there, I'm like, okay, Connor is so mad right now at Ryan about something that happened in a card game, obviously, because he's going after his brother out there. And McLeod looked up at him a couple times, are you kidding me?
And the refs, there was at least one he got away with. Obelist 21 chimes in and says McLeod tripped him into the boards in the first. Remember when McDavid went in awkwardly there? I didn't view that as on purpose necessarily. I think they locked feet a little bit there, Struds.
Yeah. It's always hard to tell when you see that type of situation. But I would say that generally speaking, if I'm playing and I'm wondering if someone did it on purpose or not, I'll always err to the side that he did it on purpose. And then you're coming to get him back. That's generally how players think, Brownie.
Well, it's true. And it's funny. Ekholm got a penalty tonight because Connor McDavid cross-checked McLeod in the corner. So that was the penalty. The ref missed it or let it go. And afterwards, he probably skated by the Jersey bench a couple of times. Okay, I'll get it back. Okay, that guy felt you're gone. And Ekholm's are you kidding me? He more or less pointed at McDavid. You let that go over there and call me?
Yeah.
But the refs missed a couple. But that McDavid cross-check, I'm like, okay, seriously? That was ooh. And then the best part was McDavid cross-checks the guy and then goes down on 3-on-2. So it could have been double whammy for the Jersey Devils.
It's interesting, though, because they weren't calling the penalties on McDavid. But then when it was on Hughes, then the call came, right? So the star players, Struddy, they get that preferential treatment in both directions, don't they?
Oh, they do. And then they work the refs over. They're talking to them, and it's annoying. I mean, but I get it. Whatever. That's just the way people are going to complain about it. Just every team fan base talks about how their team's getting screwed. But you look at the last couple of games, and Brown didn't have you on, but the last game when Kane hammered
Brodin.
Brodin. I want to say Bolduc. Yeah. Absolutely hammers him from behind. There's no call. And then Minnesota gets shorthanded out of it. Then they go under score. Yeah. I mean, I would be losing my mind if I was on the bench. Are you kidding me? How was that not a hit from behind?
Well, and Brodin's out for a length of time. To me, now in Struds, when we played, you could run a guy into the boards more so from behind, and there weren't a penalty because we weren't as big, as strong, and as fast. Nowadays, when a guy like McDavid or Kane hit a guy and they get him in the numbers, that's got to be a penalty. It just does, because now there's so much damage more that the guys can do nowadays because they're bigger, stronger, and they're faster skaters. So the Kane, that's got to be a penalty, because he was Brodin's gone. Last year, Mikey Anderson, McDavid got him. He was out for a month. Those plays are dangerous. And if we watched someone hit McDavid like that and McDavid was gone for a month, we'd be screaming up here. So it's a dangerous play that the NHL has got to be very conscious of moving forward to call that as a penalty every time.
Yeah, we'll get to more of that in our Take a Lap segment, Struddy. We're going to take a look at some angry players around the National Hockey League that we've seen here in the last couple of days. So that's coming up. A couple things I still want to get to, but we'll push them over to takeaways. I want to talk about Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse, and also want to talk about this new tactic the Oilers are employing more often than they were before, pushing the puck through the middle of the ice. So that'll come up next in our takeaways segment. Before we wrap this one up, though, let's get to the numbers. Our Sport Logic Inside the Game numbers here. That is brought to you by Yo Mama Maternity. Listen, if you or your partner are expecting, it's a great time of year. Go grab a gift card, right? It's a Strudwick family business. His wife and I believe your sister run it, don't they, Struddy?
They do. Yeah, they do.
How long have they been in business? That's like she's been doing that for a while, man.
Yeah, 16 years. They've been just busy and killing it, helping ladies find their clothes.
100%. So for the mom to be in your life, a gift card for Christmas from Yo Mama Maternity is a great idea. Go ahead and put the numbers up there, Steve, courtesy our good friends over at Sport Logic. High danger scoring chances. There you see the Oilers 19-13 had the edge there. Turnovers, they generated 13. Scoring chances off of turnovers. Jersey was 8. Inner slot shot save percentage. There you see Calvin Pickard 100%. Jersey at 75. Pickard, this is a real good performance from him, guys. And I just wonder, just confidence-wise for a guy that hasn't gotten a lot of NHL action over the last few years, had some family in town. Like Brownie, that's really good for this guy. And for a guy in the room, I think the players can really rally behind too.
Oh, 100%. Guys are excited for him. You can see the excitement after the game. He deserved all the accolades. He played great. He was the better of the two goalies. Really good. But it was funny, though. There was a question, and I don't want to say who said it because I don't want to get it wrong. But someone asked him, like, do you take, is a game like this special for you because, you don't know how many you're going to have these left? And he says, no. Not yet. I still believe I got more in me. I believe I can play in this league. And I respect that. This is a guy's like, you know what? My career ain't done. And keep giving me chances to play, and I'll prove you that I can play in this hockey league. So good on him. And he did earn another start. Now, I don't think it's next game, but I do believe he does earn a game real soon because he did play well, and he's gained the confidence of the coaching staff.
Struds, the team did just come off a big, long break, man. It's not like Skinner's. I mean, wouldn't you spread the rest out a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option, but you got to also look at your opponents, right? The Oilers have had an unbelievable stretch of games here to get back to where they are today, which is 500. And they're within striking distance of a playoff spot, I believe, before Christmas, which I didn't believe was possible. Like, I didn't think they'd be able to get that close. So, I mean, they're not going to keep winning every game, but, if you're going to play him at some point, why not look at maybe matchups for that?
We're gonna change his mind, Brownie. We got 2 more segments to change his mind before we're done. Struds is going to admit it was a bad call.
But Schauger, though, in our defense, we did say that we would have played him in the Chicago game.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't have played him today.
I know.
Yeah.
So any of us know anything.
But I said this before when Pickard came up. I said there's no pressure on him. Like I don't think he should feel any pressure. No one's looking at him to be a savior. All they're looking is for someone just to come in and give them a chance to win when Skinner's not in, and he's done that for 2 games really. Mm-hmm. So what do you if I'm him, I'm like, this is free money. I didn't think I'd get in the NHL at all this year. I wouldn't even get to look at. I even watched the games on the network, and now he's actually playing in games. So I think I don't think there's any pressure on this guy.
Rob Brown's appearances on the podcast brought to you by Kin Print. The hat is nice and straight. Now, I got the mug, too. Look at this. They printed me off I got one for both of you guys, too. But
no, you gave me
now,
one,
don't you?
Yeah, my wife really liked it and took it to work with her.
I got one right here for you, buddy.
You're going to love it, Struds.
Grab it,
it's
pal.
Fantastic. It looks good. My wife has it it's at the U of A right now, where she's a professor. She took it to work and forgot to bring it home. So
helping you find creative ways to promote your brand, high-quality apparel with top-of-the-line brands, visit kinprint.ca. When we come back, we'll talk Darnell Nurse, we'll talk Evan Bouchard, and we'll talk middle breakouts. Then we've got Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything, Take a Lap, tons of more great content ahead. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly here from United Sport and Cycle. Christmas is just around the corner and we've got everything you need for the athlete and sports fan on your list. With over 30 different sports under one roof, including hockey, bikes, ball, and our amazing fan shop, United is your one-stop shop for everything sport. Don't know what to buy? A United gift card is always a fan favorite. United Sport and Cycle, your Santa's workshop for over 95 years.
The Edmonton Sport and Social Club is YEG's top destination for adult recreational sports, offering over 20 different options, including ball hockey, indoor volleyball, pickleball, and now ice hockey for all you fans out there looking to lace them up for the first time or get back into the game after a few years off, like Struddy. Sign up by December 13th for the winter season beginning mid-January at edmontonsportsclub.com.
Winter is upon us, so why not make the best of it? Marmot Basin Ski Resort is where it's at. Ski half price every day, no blackout periods. Pick up your escape card for $99 and make winter fun more affordable. Half the price, all the powder. Get yours at www.skimarmot.com.
All right, time now for takeaways brought to you by Martin Motorsports, your one-stop shop for all the names on your Christmas list. Shop for winter gear, snowmobile accessories, water sports gear, electric bikes, apparel. They got coolers, sunglasses. They've got absolutely everything in Martin Motorsports. And now that the snow has fallen, time to dig into some of that winter fun. Shop online and use the code GOTYOURBACK for $20 off your next order. Happy to have Martin Motorsports on board as one of our key sponsors. Don't look now, guys. Evan Bouchard, 28 points in 25 games, 6 back of Cale Makar right now. He's piling up the points, piling up the offense. That shot of his, Stuart Skinner said the other day, might be the hardest one in the league. Brownie, the combination of being able to let it go the way he can with his head completely up. Like, he very seldom does need to look down to track it. He can keep his head up and still locate it. And he's picking spots like crazy from all the way back there.
He is. And it's funny. He talked the other day that his job is just to get it by the high forward. That's his job. Get it by the high forward. He's done what he's supposed to do, but I don't believe that's really what he's thinking. He's trying to hit corners. He's trying to hit spots. Yep. And what's amazing, Struds, I don't know, were you playing here when Sheldon Surrey played, or were you after Sheldon? Yeah, so Sheldon Surrey had a heavy shot, and everyone was scared to death to stand in front because he had no idea where it was going. In all honesty, like, he would go bar down, he would go 3 feet over the net. It was heavy, and you could see, I remember Dustin Penner in front of the net and Ryan Smith. Bouchard knows where his is going, and it's amazing that heavy shot never hits anybody. It either hits the back of the net or occasionally hits the goaltender. It's a weapon that makes it almost unfair for the Oilers' power play against the rest of the league. Because today there's a great example on his goal. The 2 Jersey forwards were down low because Connor McDavid kind of posted up in the high slot. They couldn't have let him get the puck, so they came down low. That leaves the high shot or the high pass up to Bouchard wide open, and he makes no mistake. Yeah, it's been a long time since you've seen someone that is capable of doing what he's doing. To me, it's like an Al McInnes, who he's got a heavy shot and he would always hit the net. Bouchard he's taken his level of game to a new height because now he's playing better defensively. The offense was always there, but the defense now is so much better. But he gives the Oilers, well, there's 5 guys on the ice capable of scoring every time they touch the puck on the power play. And most teams in the NHL do not have that.
Yeah, what I like about him on the blue line when he's walking is he's got the shot, but he puts himself in a position to get the shot off quick. And like, we don't see many blocked, right? So I really like that, the way he gets himself in the right place. Either it's a one-timer or he finds a quiet area to get it, like we saw a couple nights ago. Also, when the puck goes off his stick, it seems to shrink. And I know that's not possible, but it seems to shrink and it gets to the net quick and it doesn't get hit. But it's true. You look at some guys, they're shooting pucks, they're all end over end, and it's just an absolute grenade. And and I think, like, I know when I used to stand in front, I was like, how come I can never block this guy's shot? And then other guys, I'm just right in my shin pads. It's just working it over. Like, and I was kind of standing the same spot. So I I think it's a real skill to be able to do that. To and I recognize the shrinking the puck, but it's the concept, the idea of it getting through and getting past guys.
The thing about it, go ahead, Brownie.
And the other thing too is there's a fear for the penalty killer, because I mean, word gets around how heavy his shot is, and you will have players that will kind of be in the shooting lane, but know that they're just out of it enough.
Lane? Yeah,
but it
look good.
But it's true. Or his shot breaks someone's stick, which we saw last game, where his shot off the faceoff broke a stick, and now you're on a power play and one of them's missing a stick. But there is a fear. I mean, when we used to play against Al McInnes or Al Iafrate, you'd go into the game knowing that you always wanted to stand right by that guy because you did not want to be 10 feet away when he wound up because there was a fear of getting hurt.
The other thing about Bouchard, I like how selective he is. He won't let it go unless he's comfortable, on balance, and can let it go the way he wants to let it go. We don't, because how many times has it been feathered back to him and it's been there, but he doesn't shoot it off balance. He doesn't waste them. He waits. If he doesn't like it, he'll hand it back and he'll wait. And they're patient with it, which I like because it's allowing him to really pure a few. And we've seen him pure a few of these lately. Struddy, we took an entire segment and dedicated it to Darnell Nurse the other day just because he's playing that well. And we probably shouldn't have waited this long to talk about him again tonight. He's just, Brownie, well, Strud, you can go first. He's just been a beast. And another night tonight where, like, there are signature plays happening game in, game out that Darnell Nurse is making. Like moments you can think of that were big moments involving him.
Yeah, and so this is the moment I want to talk about, and this to me is the evolution or the progress that Darnell's made in his game. And when he's playing well, these are decisions he's making. On the 4-1 goal, the empty net goal, he makes a play and it kind of goes off his shin pad and goes out of the zone. And he started skating really hard, and then he looked at it, he's like, probably not going to get that puck, so he just backs off. The old Darnell Nurse, or when Darnell's really forcing things, he would have gone for that puck, put himself out of position. Now the puck's coming back into their zone. And that to me is just understanding the moment. Like, we're winning by 2. I don't have to go and get that puck. We're not down. I'm probably not going to get it anyways. So I'm just going to play more cautious. And then 15 seconds later, it's in the back of the net. But I love that play by Darnell. And you could see it when you go back and watch that replay. Brownie, he's trying to fly up the ice and he's like, no, this isn't the play. That's what smart defensemen do.
Yeah, I agree. And the play that I saw tonight from Darnell Nurse was I think it was the first period where Leon, they had a break. It was like a 4-on-2, and Leon made a pass. He put it behind the guy that he was intending it to, and the puck came back the other way. Jersey's very good at transitioning from defense to offense. Yeah. They have a 3-on-1. Darnell Nurse was 30 feet behind the closest guy.
The back check. Yeah.
The back check. His speed. I don't think people realize how
blow
fast
by
he is.
Draisaitl?
Oh, just flying. And again, he's not going to catch any of the guys. If there was a pass, he's not going to catch them. And a lot of players will say, I'm not going to catch him. I'm going to wait to see where the rebound goes. He continued going. The shot came from the side. It came out, I think it was to Hischier. Wide open net, backdoor. Darnell stops it. He gets there in time to knock the puck away. That would have been a 1-0 lead for the New Jersey Devils. This entire game could have taken a different complexion because of that play. But this is what you're seeing more and more out of Nurse. He's not making the hope plays anymore. He's playing, as Strud says, smarter. He's playing simpler, and he's picking his spots. I agree. This is the best Darnell's played. And it's funny, me and Reed have a show. This is the quietest we've had from the fans about Darnell Nurse. We usually get a lot of phone calls. He and Bouchard would be the ones that would create most of the phone calls after our games. But no, Darnell Nurse he's winning everyone over, winning more people over, and he should be because he's playing excellent right now. Well,
you guys have both come up with a signature play, and there's still one more, and it's one that people on the stream are talking about, the hit. Threw a great hit.
Yeah.
It was an aggressive play, threw a really strong hit. It certainly looked good. I like the fact that he's and I chatted with him a little bit after the game about his game and where it's at, and he's really feeling it. He's really feeling it, guys. I think it's not to criticize Dave Manson, what their results were, what they were. The players really like playing for Dave, but I just think we've just talked about Evan Bouchard. We've just talked about Darnell Nurse. We've been talking consistently about how good the Diaz looked. Like, Brownie, we have to heap quite a bit of praise here onto Paul Coffey. And I'll be the first to admit I was skeptical when he went into that job, but so far, man, good results that he needs credit for.
Well, I agree. And I've played with Koff for 3 years in Pittsburgh. The one thing that Koff was very good at, he was a very good communicator. He was a guy that made everyone feel good about themselves. He was a guy that when he was a veteran, when he came to Pittsburgh, I mean, that was Paul Coffey, Stanley Cup champion. I grew up in Edmonton. And he'd be the guy, hey, taking all the rookies out for dinner. Let's go. Or, hey, let's go for you two rookies. Hey, we're going for beer right now. Like stuff like that. He understood how important it was for everyone to feel comfortable. And I think that's what he's doing with his defense right now. He's making them feel comfortable. He will give them critique, but he'll also point out what they're good at. And he'll say, here's what we need out of you. Here's why we need out of you. And I tell you, when it's coming from a guy that's in the top 5 best defensemen in the history of the National Hockey League, if you're a guy on the bench, you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to listen to this guy. So Struds, for me, when if I had a guy that I had incredible respect for, came and whispered to me or said, hey, this is what I'd like to see from you, then I would I feel a bit bigger, the pride there. What would it be like if a Hall of Fame defenseman came up and he Struds, I really like what you did last shift. Let's see a little more of that.
Yeah, well, first I'd ask for an autograph, and then I'd be like, let's try to get these guys going. But I'm going to say this, guys, is a general thing, and I don't have any concrete proof of this, obviously, but I wonder the level of detail in coaching, if it's kind of come down a bit. I always had the sense that Jay was very detailed. The way the players talked, it was always.
I guarantee it has.
Yeah, and so this I want to be clear. This isn't a critique of Jay. I really like Jay as a coach, and Dave Manson. I think that they're going to go on and be fine. But I just, there's maybe so much detail and so many things going through the players' brains that it's very difficult. And Brownie, I've coached a lot of young kids, and I believe you're trying to get. I always think you try to give them just the big headlines and try to correct those big mistakes instead of giving them 10 things and they don't do anything. And again, this isn't a critique of Jay, but when I played and we'd get a pregame scouting report and there was 10 things on there, I'm like, this is crazy. I can't consume all this. Tell me the 3 biggest things they do. So I wonder if there's not a level of coaching that the detail's gone down. Doesn't mean it's worse or better. There's just less. And so the players just worry about that, like 90% of what's going on out there, rather than that last 10% that can really eat so much of your energy. Brownie.
I think it's a great point, Brownie.
No, I think that is fantastic the way he said it. I'm obviously someone's writing notes for you before the show tonight, but I do. But I mean, I do believe that's what Koff is like, though. He's like, all right, here's what we want to see from you. Let's not worry about that over there. The biggest thing for the Oilers defense right now, they're just taking out the big mistake. Yeah. That's what was killing them earlier in the season. It was the big mistake. They're not doing that, and they're just playing a little bit freer now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point, Struddy. I think there's definitely something to that. I think there's been a simplification. No question. One detail that they have added into their game, we're noticing it a lot. It probably makes fans a little nervous, but have you noticed how many times the Oilers are willing to pop the puck from the corner, the defensive corner, to the middle of the ice for a guy standing there for a middle outlet? This is by design. They want to do this more and more. Here's Chris Knobloch from the Weiss Johnson Soundbox on the strategy they're employing and why.
Yeah, no, we want to make plays if it's there. We don't want to throw that puck recklessly to the middle of the ice. But, the night before, we almost gave up a goal trying to make a play in the middle, and our centerman was there to break it up. I think it was McDavid, but it's going to bite you sometimes. It's going to be, what's that guy doing? We made a bad play, but we feel the good outweighs the bad. We feel that if we just go up the wall all the time, teams are going to be taking that away, and we're just not going to be able to break the puck out. We have to use the middle of the ice, and I think we're getting some confidence doing that.
Some great detail there, Struddy. Take us through the risk reward of being a team that implements this.
Well, I can tell you, in my whole career, I didn't pass it once to the middle. Not even in in a dream.
You didn't have permission to. That's why.
No, I think I had permission. I didn't have the size of balls that is required to pass the puck to the middle of the ice. So I worked so hard to get it. Now I'm going to the middle, and so what it looks like is you're going back to get the puck. You're in the corner. You turn, and now I'm looking up ice, and the centerman's low and slow, and you hear that every day. Low and slow center, low and slow. So you just pop it. It's like a 6-foot pass, and it's so easy to do. If it goes wrong, though, one-timer, goal, and then old Uncle Struddy's sitting on the bench for the next 2 periods. So I never did it. But for guys like a guy who I thought did really well was Ethan Bear. I think Evan Bouchard is able to do it. I think Ekholm does it pretty well. But the reason you do it is because the middle of the ice is open, right? Either there's a pinch coming down the wall or the wingers on that wall. The high, I guess their forecheck would be on the Oilers winger. So there's no room to move. They just pounded back down. So I love that play. Like going to the middle is amazing, but Brownie, that takes a big set to do it. And it will burn the Oilers. Like and it burns every team.
And Knobloch knows it. He's admitting it, Brownie. Sure. He's like, it will look bad at some point.
Well, the play he's talking about that almost burned it, it was Skinner actually had gone out behind the net and came over to Bouchard, and Bouchard popped it out in front. Skinner was behind the net. Bouchard popped it out, and McDavid came back, and any other centerman on the Oilers wouldn't have got there. Would have been a wide open net. Just pop it into the empty net. McDavid's fast enough. Excuse me. He came back and got it. You see teams around the league do it. We used to do it in our time, but not as often as they do it nowadays. It's all about execution and trust. You have to trust. You watch teams, they'll do it where they won't even look. They know that their centerman is supposed to be there. You'll see guys put it between their legs in front of the net, and they know that their centerman's going to be there. But if there's someone falls or if the centerman cheats, all of a sudden the only player in front of the net is the opposition player. So it is a gutsy call, but it does, as Strud says, it gets you out of trouble. When you make that 6-foot pass, it gets you out of trouble because most teams forecheck, they push you to an area they want you to go. They want that defenseman to go up the wing to the board so that your winger gets him down low, their winger or their defenseman pinches down, the puck pops out, back right down into your zone. So it's a smart play, but it does come with some risk.
It feels like, Struds, by giving your players permission, by implementing that as a system, just for that thought to enter their mind, under pressure, look to the middle. I mean, just to have that as an option is almost risky to put that thought in guys' heads. Like, yeah, that's a spot we want you looking.
Well, you know who loves it? Leon and Connor. They love getting the puck in the middle. They're like,
and slow.
What? You're going to pass it where? Like, they want to get it because guess what? They get it, and there's so much, well, not always, but Brownie, correct me, generally speaking, when you're that low and slow, usually that high guy's not across on that center, unless it's a pure breakout, like right off of a dump in. Generally speaking, that play is there and they get it. And also now Connor has 6 feet of space, boof, gone. Or Leon's boof, gone. So, I mean, that is the dream scenario. And delivering the puck to those two guys with speed going up the middle of the ice, that is a nightmare situation for any team, right?
What it also does, Struds, is it stops the opposition from pinching. Because if a good defenseman looks up the boards, that defenseman comes down and pinches, and you hit the guy in the middle, your defenseman just got caught flat-footed. And guess what? With Connor and Leon, and you catch someone flat-footed, you're in trouble. So the other team will stop doing that, and then it takes away an effective play of the opposition of the pinch. And now all of a sudden they're backing off, and now you're creating more space for your winger. So it is a great play, but there will be – it's just like when Mike Smith came out and played the puck all the time. 99% of the time it worked out. But every once in a while, it looked silly. And eventually, the Oilers will get caught once or twice.
Great discussion. Excuse me as my voice cracks. Great discussion about a small detail, but something that's working for the team. That was brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Struddy, you'll be happy to know Joaquin Gage is floating around the chat. He's watching. No, you're going to like this. Gager said, hate to say it, but Struddy is actually bang on with all of his goaltending takes tonight. You've got Gager on side.
Right. I've said very mean things about Gager's eyesights in the past. So you can imagine how strongly he feels about me being correct. So Gager, thank you. I've always admired your work in the industry.
You've never admired his work. On TV. You never admired it in net.
When he knows you can hear him.
Yeah.
He can hear you. Because that's not what you say constantly before we're actually live. Davin says, what an insightful podcast. Davin, not sure how much sarcasm was intended there. I'm reading a little bit. So if you want to clarify in the break here, let me know. But I'll just say thanks for now. Right. Struddy's World is coming up next. Struddy's going to fix whatever mess he's got going on with his earphones there, like with his headphone. Like, what do you have? Look at that.
What?
These things are designed so that you can't see them. Look at me. I'm wearing the same set you are right now. Look at me and look at you.
Listen, it's not all about you, Sugar. You have massive ears that just swallow these things up. I don't have big ears. I'm not Dumbo. I'm sorry. I just have smaller ears.
All right.
I don't want to.
Steve, go to break. Cut them off. Go to break. Struddy's World.
Are you ready to elevate your moving experience? Trusted for over 100 years, Ferguson Moving and Storage are your partners in relocation, ensuring your journey is smooth and stress-free. And say goodbye to surprises with Ferguson's transparent flat rate pricing. Contact them now for a free moving quote and use a promo code Ferguson to receive $100 off your next move. Visit FergusonMoving.com and let them lift your expectations.
Time to talk about your mortgage? It doesn't have to be a daunting conversation. With over 16 years in the industry, Maria Gallus with Maximum Mortgages knows how to make it easy. With access to dozens of different lenders, let Maria customize the perfect solution for you. Whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or renewing, or a first-time buyer, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you feeling confident you're in great hands, making informed decisions. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
God, I look good.
Davin clarified his intentions. He said, I totally meant it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Davin. We appreciate the kind words, buddy. Struddy's World, brought to you by Pathfind. When it's time to make tough cuts, remember the power of a well-executed strategy. Include Pathfind outplacement services for your transitioning employees, and you'll be ensuring a smooth transition for your valued team members. Visit www.pathfind.ca to discover how they can assist you. Brownie, your favorite segment, bud. Struddy's World. Struds, take it.
The cashew nut is at the same level as pumpkin pie.
Yeah, Brownie, you're good to go, bud.
Don't interrupt me.
Oh my
Don't
God.
interrupt me.
I
You're
stayed
done.
up for this.
The cashew nut is at the same level as the pumpkin pie, as dry banana bread. It is outrageous that people put the cashew at the top of the nut list. I've seen and eaten many nuts. And I'll tell you what, guys, it is outrageous that people tell me the cashew is so good. The cashew is inedible. I don't want to have any of the cashews. When I get the party mix, I spend a lot of money on nut mix. I never eat the cashews, just out of principle. I refuse to have them. When I'm grading the nuts, I got almonds pretty high. Obviously, I've got, the pecan is in there as well. Truly, my favorite is the Brazil nut. Expensive. Ooh, pricey. But guys, I believe, and I'm going to double down on this, the cashew is inedible. Is an inedible nut that should be taken out of the party mix because, quite frankly, I can't eat it. I can't. It has no flavor. It's bland. Not bad when you make it into milk, though, guys. I'll sit down and listen.
Brownie, go ahead, buddy.
Listen to what? Like, seriously.
Well, how do you feel about cashew nuts?
Actually, I don't know which one they are. Which
like
one's
them.
the cashew? Are they
Oh
the
my
big
I like
nut?
them.
Are they the big nut?
No,
Like you're the
God.
one that loves nuts. I mean,
Yeah,
they're the
they're
round
pretty
one.
big.
They're like a C. They're like a letter, like
Yeah.
like a letter C. I've got
Yeah.
some. I can go grab it if you want, Brownie.
you
So
gonna bring
I'll
them
go-
over?
What's
Let me
that?
tell you what happened. So my family and I were having family dinner.
You talk.
with,
I'll go
like,
grab
my-
one.
Okay.
Okay, I just would give you guys some context. I should have done this. My family and I were like my mom and dad, my sister and her husband and their family. We got into this conversation about nuts, about the where it is at. And my sister told me that she loves cashews, and my wife agreed. I honestly, if I would have known that before I married her, we might not have made it this far. It is outrageous, though. Like the cashew has no flavor. It has no flavor. It is literally the very definition of vanilla is cashew. When you look it up in a dictionary,
Right there, Brownie.
vanilla.
Oh yeah, I remember those guys. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have any flavor. They don't have flavor.
No, they're
Nothing.
good, man. But you know what they have?
Nothing.
Of all the
Personality.
nuts, I'll tell you what they have. They have the best texture. And I am a big texture guy.
boy.
If something has an amazing texture, it almost doesn't matter to me what it tastes like. And cashews have an amazing texture. You can take one bite, kind of crack them in half, and then they're smooth to bite through. They're not as crunchy as other peanuts. They're a smooth.
See,
chew.
I'm a big pecan nut
Yeah,
fan
yes.
because
Yeah.
it comes with a pie. So I like the pie
Okay.
part. I mean, that's. I mean, I don't eat a lot of. I don't eat as much. I don't have as many nuts in my mouth as Struds does, but I am a big fan of the pecan pie. Is that?
I'll say this, and Shagar, I respect your point about the texture of the pecan, but generally speaking, people with soft teeth like they like
It's an elder nut for sure. It's a nut for elders for sure.
You can squish the cashew in your lips. I like the harder. I like the macadamian. The Brazil nut, you got to work. You got to be a worker bee to eat a Brazil nut. You're not just getting it off. And I go buy those little bags. I think I forget which brand, Clubhouse nuts. They're so good, but they're expensive, man. Those Brazil nuts, that's a good business to be in, a Brazil nut farmer.
JC says Struddy's completely nuts. Someone else said Uncle Nutty weighs in with his chunkiest take yet. Next, we'll be on 7-Eleven Slurpee mixing strategies. Yeah, this one got right off the rails. Cashews are the top choice, says Reaper. Wow, no challenger to the macadamia. Cashews and pistachios are elite, says Brandon Farrell. Cashews and pistachios. Did you say you were good with pistachios, Struddy?
I do like the pistachios. Yeah, I do find, though, I like them better when they're shelled. When they're unshelled, they're not as salty. Like, this is salt you like, right?
Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm going to crank my mic here for a sec, and I'm going to eat a cashew because these things are so good to crunch. Just everyone be quiet for a sec here. I'm going to get really close to the mic. I'm just
Watch your soft. Be careful with your soft teeth.
Here it comes. How was that? Did that come through okay?
Was that the nut or your tooth that broke?
No, that was Struddy's World, brought to you by Pathfind. Dom, you don't have to pay for today's episode. This was woo. Struddy says before the show, Brownie, you guys want me to go serious or a little bit lighter for Struddy's World? And this is his idea of a little bit lighter.
Well, I'm glad I stayed up. I know that upstairs my wife's watching a really cool show, but this was way better. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Way better.
You're welcome.
Good stuff. Brownie, we'll set you free, buddy. Hope we get to chat with you again soon this week.
All right, see you guys.
All right, see ya. The epic Jason Strudwick. When we come back, it will be time to take a lap. See you, Brownie.
I don't know how to turn it off.
I know you don't.
We know.
Do the best you can, buddy. We'll go to commercial and save you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Long Shots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca. Okay, heroes, are you trying to tough it out through a sports or life injury right now? Trying to prove your mettle by grinding through, gritting your teeth? Well, Redefined Health is here to say it's time to come on in. At Redefined Health, they'll high-five you for your toughness and then get to work on helping you fix the problem. Helping athletes and heroes find better balance, performance, and injury prevention. Visit redefinedhealth.com.
Okay, time to put this thing back on the rails. Time now for us to take a lap. Struddy, brought to you by
our buddies at Backscape. This product is taking the online world by storm right now. It's everywhere. Get rid of your unwanted back hair all by yourself with Backscape. The water-resistant rechargeable shaver coupled with a long handle lets you take care of business on your own. Shave in any direction with no bumps or cuts. It's easy. It's awesome. Right now, it's our biggest sale of the year with 30 to 50% off. Visit backscape.com. That's BAKscape.com and choose from a variety of packages delivered right to your door in time for the holiday season. All right, let's
great
get
Christmas
into it.
package.
Great. Yeah, that's what people want. They
Really?
keep it clean. Everybody wins when your back hair is clean.
Perfect, perfect stocking stuffer, something like that for for somebody. Works great. Struddy, what do we got tonight, buddy?
Well, Jesse Puljujarvi came out saying that he
yeah.
was on I guess a PTO with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it was interesting. I watched the availability of Mike Sullivan and talking about it, and he must have mentioned, I'd say at least 6 to 8 times how big and rangy. That's to use his word. He's rangy, has length, he skates well, he's rangy, he has length. Like he kept saying it over and in his Boston accent. So it's clear what they need. And he's like, well, we need something like this in our lineup. So, yes, I hope it works out for him there. Gets a chance to play around some of those great players. Maybe they can help him unlock some of the offense there. But, when you look at what he is good at, he's good on the wall. He gets it on the forecheck and he's big. When he's doing that and getting paid with that type of number in mind, there's a player there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree that there's a player there, and we wish Jesse well, right? Like you hope that he's healthy. You hope that he gets a chance to resume his career as a National Hockey League player. I hopped over to our friends over at Daily Faceoff just to check out kind of what the line combinations have looked like lately. Struds, did you look at that? You look over on that right side. Hey,
yeah.
O'Connor, Puustinen, Jeff Carter's got 1 goal, and Mark Johnstone. So I mean, it looks pretty thin over on that right side, and maybe some opportunity for Puljujarvi. And I mean, you got to use him in a depth role, though. I mean, that's where he belongs, right?
Or if you put him up with the big line or with bigger players, there has to be understanding what he is. Right, he's not a natural goal scorer. No matter what Dustin Nielsen is screaming right now, he is not a natural goal scorer. But I like him on my team. Right, like I think he can skate. He gets in on the forecheck. He's good on the wall. He takes up space, and if you can get him to understand to drive the net and create space for his buddies, I think he can be. He can help a lineup. Now, I'm very interested to see what happens with long term. Well, even short term. With his hip surgeries, right? We've seen some players struggle with those out the door, and he's very young. So I'm guessing that makes a difference. And also, when you look at it, Schauger, like the technology is changing all the time. So what happened 2-3 years ago isn't the same that happened today. But I'm going to follow him closely because I want him to find his career, but I don't think it's going to look how he envisioned it when he came. What was he, 3rd, 4th pick in the draft?
Yeah. We have some requests on the chat here for you to say Puljujarvi's name in a Boston accent because you are a cornucopia of amazing accents. Right. I don't know if you take requests or not, but people would like to hear a Boston accent. Jesse Puljujarvi.
I lived for a while in Worcester, Massachusetts, so I had a lot of that. That one. I don't really do a very good Boston. For as many ones I am elite at, I can't
put
really
you on the
say,
spot and you got nothing.
Well, I can't really. I can barely say yes to Puljujarvi in the first place, so I don't know that I'm really up to. Yes to Puljujarvi. We get Yavi on the 4th line, like something like that. That's how he kind of would come out.
All right, yeoman's effort. Moving on. What else? You want to talk about some ugliness around the league the last day or two here? People are getting grumpy.
Scary moment last night. Detroit and Ottawa. Larkin gets knocked out cold in front of that. There's a big scrum in front. And, I think it was Joseph that kind of hit him from behind into another player who was coming at him. He kind of got squished. And when I say he was out cold, I'm talking out cold on the ice, face down. And while that's going on, Artem Zub, who was a D-man in front of his own net, he's kind of waving for someone to come help him. And David Perron thought it was him that hit him. So he kind of circles around and comes out and cross-checks him like full value, right in the neck, bang. And, Zub goes down, then all hell breaks loose. But luckily they were able to get Larkin, didn't get stepped on or anything worse than what had happened.
That was aggressive from Perron, man. Like that was.
Well, he's getting an in-person hearing, right? So it's minimum 6 games, minimum. And so I think that the league will not look very kindly on that. And then they're talking about some discipline, their people will sort of be disciplined for the hit on Larkin. He slowed down. Looks like Joseph. I think it was Joseph. I might be wrong, but I think it was. He looks like he kind of cross-checked in the neck, but I don't know if that's the one that hurt him. I think it was when he fell into the other Ottawa Center player.
It was an awkward fall.
Yeah, like those scrums in front of the net. There's a lot going on, and I didn't feel that Joseph was trying to hit him in the head intentionally. So I think we got to be careful. I'll be interested to see what happens, but Perron is sitting and at least 6 games. Yeah. So that was pretty crazy last night. Then I was out today, but you texted me and said, take a look at this play. So Eric Branson and who's it? Nick Cousins. They were playing Florida Columbus, and Branson's going back to get the puck behind the net. and Cousins absolutely hammers him from behind. It made Evander Kane's hit look like it was a love tap. It was unbelievable how hard he buried Gudbranson from behind. Gudbranson kind of stays down for the second, and he jumps up and snaps. Absolutely snaps. And whatever, doesn't really get a piece of what he wants. So later on in the game, Cousins is coming down the wall, and Gudbranson is the right defenseman. He goes over there and just grabs him, rips him off the wall, and just starts pounding on him down on the head. So he
Like
got
fully
29
jumped
minutes
him.
of
Just
penalties.
just kind of ignored it. Like went at him, grabbed him,
he didn't
started
care.
throwing haymakers, threw him down, and threw probably a pretty good number into the back of his head while Cousins was in the full turtle.
Now, I will say this. I agree with Gudbranson's response because I have no time for anything hitting from behind. I have no time for it at all. There should have been a 5 major for Cousins and out the door. I believe Kane should have had the same penalty. So this isn't just saying what I hate hit from behind because I'd go back for those pucks all the time and you can't trust the guy behind you, the guy being the forward. So I hate it. So I would have done the same thing. I would have been so mad at what had happened to me that I'm getting that guy. So everyone knows they can't do it to me again. So you can call me a barbarian, but remember what started that. Remember the dirty hit where Gudbranson could have really been hurt, like we saw from Brodin and Kane the other day. So guys, no time for me at all in this Shogger, at all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Struds. Like every once in a while, you got to take it into your own hands. And I think to a degree, as a player, you think if the league isn't going to take care of it, if the refs aren't going to take care of it, the game is designed to police itself, right? And this is why the game needs to be able to police itself because guys can't be throwing that hit. It's incredibly dangerous. And so, look, Panthers ended up winning 5-2. Did they score on that power play? I think they might have. I think they might have got 1 on that power play.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's be honest, it's not like Columbus is killing it. So, I mean, Gudbranson's probably thinking, like, I'm just going to go and do this. But I think the NHL has to take a hard look at any hits to the numbers. And let's just be clear, that is a hit to numbers. Canes and Cousins are both the same. Now, we want to go back a couple of days, or was it a week ago, when Hathaway from Philadelphia hit Hughes from New Jersey. I don't actually think that was a penalty. I think that was more side to side. The player has to be prepared for that. And he should have known that Hathaway was there. He thought it was going to be icing. They're both trying to get the puck. That was not in the numbers. Did Hughes go flying? Oh, he went flying all right. He went flying like Superman. But I don't believe that's a penalty. It's different from behind in the numbers rather than from the side in that situation, Shocker.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And we've talked, you and I are in alignment on this hitting from behind thing. I've been saying it, on Gregor's show, on Nilsson's show in the morning for years. I have been saying the league is not taking hitting from behind seriously enough. They're not doing a good enough job to police it out of the game. That's both in game from the refs and in George Peros's office as well. So I agree with you. And yeah, Gudbranson, full snap show. But from a guy that's been in that position that knows, Struddy says he would have done the same. All right, that was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our great friends over at Backscape. Looking for another stocking stuffer. They got a great sale going on right now. So make sure you check them out online. All right, Steve, why don't you hop on in here, buddy? We'll get ready for our Ask Us Anything segment. And Ask Us Anything today is going to be brought to you by the Shark of the Park, Renee Bouclan of Maxwell Devonshire Realty. She's all about amazing service for her client. Buying a house is a big deal. You need someone you can trust, right? And who you know is working 24/7 to either sell your home or help you find a new one. Call Renee, 780-994-0280. That's Renee Bouclan, Shark of the Park. Start with our poll, Steve. How'd we do on Struddy's call that Pickard should get the game against Chicago?
Yeah, all right. So 200 people replied to the poll.
Nice.
And 57% say Skinner gets the next game.
Only 57?
Only 57. So that's 42%. Well, I don't know what is the missing percent, but 42% Pickard.
Interesting. I think that's the Joaquin Gage effect, Struddy. You had the goalie union support in the chat there.
Yeah, no, listen, and guys, I came in pretty hot. I was ready to rumble today. But I do believe that like you got to find pauses for your goalie, and I know he's a start. I get that, but I'm thinking game 83 here, and I know the Oilers are in a playoff position, but we saw what happened last year when he didn't get those rests. So I would take it because to me, not that it's a tap in. The team's playing well. Pickard played well his last game. It should be one that you can get done and you kind of get away. You slip one in there. You slip two in there, actually, back to back.
For Oilers says, does anyone know if Rini actually approved this terrible Jaws music? It's not actually Jaws music. It's non-copyrighted offshoot Jaws music. She did, but I'll probably check in with her again. We might have to come up with something different here sooner rather than later. Steve, what else, buddy?
All right. KGill97 says, hey guys, Arpan Basu tweeted tonight that Brad Holland was scouting the Montreal game tonight. Who do you think we're scouting there? Josh Anderson for Jack Campbell? ?
No, I want no part of that one.
That's awesome. Any ideas on what Holland might have been doing there?
Yeah, good question. I mean, just taking a look here, there's always talk about Josh Anderson here at Edmonton. His name always seems to come up, and I get why. He's big, he skates pretty well, he can be pretty tough. And this Campbell thing is definitely, you don't want to have to buy the player out. You want to figure out a way to trade him without it being too painful. But they have looked at Anderson before. It wouldn't surprise me if it's along those lines. I don't have any information though, so I'm kind of guessing like everybody else, Struds.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The guy I brought forward earlier was Sean Monahan. And, I tell you, man, you're going to have to go through the Kings. The Kings are deep at center. Now, I don't have faith in McLeod, but when you have Connor Leon and then Sean Monahan as your third line center or whatever, fourth line center, whatever it is, and then McLeod maybe is the other center, now you're getting somewhere, right? Now you can say, okay, we can match up with these guys. So I would be looking at Sean Monahan. I'm not saying that's who they are looking at, but that's a player that I identified that I would like for this group to play.
Playing 18 minutes a night, has 16 points, has scored 8 goals already. A guy that scored some goals earlier on in his career. Steve, what else, buddy?
All right, Lick Fury says, take away the horrible start to the year, and the Oilers look like they actually have the best defense in the league now. And Penner's Pancakes talks specifically about Vinny. Positive emotion and body language is energizing the team. Vinny's starting to really find his game. Simple, which is good to see.
I didn't see it, but I guess the broadcast showed people that were watching at home, Struddy, something from Vinny after the game, giving everybody hugs. And Randine actually said something to me when I got home about it.
Yeah, he gives the goalies a big bear hug, right? It looks like a deer being mauled by a grizzly. Like he just picks these guys up and hugs them and and he's bringing great energy. But I've said this again, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. When Vinny just moves the puck quickly and stays within his game, he can be a very effective player. It's when he's trying to make too many plays. And that comes from a place of wanting to do more. I'm going to help the team more. I'm going to do more. So I love that. I love that he's understanding it. And again, Paul Coffey, we got to give him some praise because this has changed under his watch.
Obelisk 21 says, I just checked the NHL Edge stats and Bouchard has 32 shots over 90 miles per hour. That's 8 more shots than the next nearest guy.
Yeah, that just goes right with what we were talking about before. He's getting it through too, Struds. Like having a shot like that doesn't really mean a hill of beans if you don't have the ability to more often than not sift it through there.
Well, it's funny. A couple of years ago, people were talking about, the days of a big shooter from the point is over and they don't need it anymore. But I think what they forget is that the game is always evolving. It's always changing, right? It's growing. So yeah, the days of just bombing away from the point, they weren't there. But then what happens is the play goes down low. So everyone schemes to stop the down low plays. So where's the open ice? It's up high. So whether that's bringing another forward up or that's, using your guy like they are with Bouchard, it evolves. So nothing is set. Nothing never there's constant change in the game. So now with Bouchard there, I think it'll actually make it easier. With Bouchard shooting as he is, it makes it more likely that those guys down low could be open. If they're not, feed it back to Bouchard. That's a good option, right? So It's a lot of pieces and places to defend for opposing penalty killers.
2 more, Steve.
Okay, so Mark Lanigan says, guys, does Campbell stay in Bakersfield till New Year at least? And Suzanne L. says, rumors circling around Soup returning to Edmonton with Pickard's solid performance. Is he likely or unlikely to return? And Obelisk chimes in and says, should we read anything into Pickard's family now being in Edmonton?
I wouldn't read anything more than that or anything too significant into that. Like a guy's only going to be so long without, without the family coming to see him. Does it change plans for Campbell? I mean, Campbell's good play down there didn't last more than a few games, and it's gone back a little bit the other way. So if he's not lighting it up, and Pickard continues to play well, I think that definitely takes the sense of urgency out of it. I really think that Campbell had the shutout. He had played 3 decent games, and then he took a step backwards, Struds. And I think that was the window where, you remember, I started talking about it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. That's what my information was. He went the wrong way in his next start, and I think that's probably hurt him. Well,
when I look back on this, I would think what I would suggest to the Oilers to do is to send him away for a vacation for a week, just to clear his head, right? Say, buddy, just go and clear your head, because it's not his game. It's I believe it's in his head, and then go down and start getting his game going to AHL. And I know it's easy to say that now, but just so it's like a fresh start for him. And I'm not saying that he's weak or anything. What's the best way to get him back up to where he wants to be? So I said at the time, I wouldn't bring him back to the new year. And I'm not an insider. I have no idea what to do or what's going to happen, but that is what I would have done. So I worry that when he returns, he'll have the same thing going on between his ears. And I think that's the challenge, man. That's a real challenge.
Okay, a few people asking about the review on Kane's hit and how what came of that. Was there enough explanation for you guys on that review? And do you agree with it? The lack of suspension.
The Evander Kane hit? Yeah. I thought it was a penalty in game. I think I wouldn't have been offended if they would have given him a game, just because I can't sit here and talk about them not doing a good enough job on hitting from behind and then say, that would have been too heavy for their strength. So I would have been fine with it. But again, I don't think they're policing this one tight enough. They probably, it was about the player turning, right? Which I don't necessarily agree with.
But the player's got to turn. He's got to get the puck. So I would have put it as a 5. And this is saying as a guy who watched the team all the time, I would have had to say the same thing with Cousins hit. I just don't like the hits from behind at all. Now, judging when a player turns is very difficult. I don't believe Brodin turned the last second for that. He had to make a play on the puck.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it at all.
All right, that was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Renee Buclan of Maxwell Devonshire Realty, the Shark of the Park. Thanks for all your contributions on the stream tonight. We had tons of great comments, and we got tons of people actually watching on the stream, which we really appreciate. If you like what you see, send it to a friend if they've never checked it out before. Get them to subscribe and join us. Our numbers are growing, and it's great to see. Don't be afraid to pound that love button, Steve. Pound on that love button. Time now for our gem of the day, brought to you by Edmonton's most iconic home for everything sport, United Sport and Cycle. Christmas has arrived at United Sport and Cycle. If you need something for an athlete or sports fan on your list, they have been your Santa's workshop for over 95 years. Visit www.unitedsport.ca. I wish Brownie was still here. Would have loved to have given him the gem of the day today, Struddy. But what do you got, my man?
I always love my reaction I get from Brownie and you when I know I'm going out there a little bit on the Struddy's world. So I'm going to say the line of the day is when I said that the cashew is in the nut world what the pumpkin pie is to the pie world.
Our reaction,
not to call my own number, but your guys' reaction was
Brownie lost it. And you know what is amazing? And we should get, next time we have Brownie on, we should get each of the clips isolated. Your laughs are like polar opposite ends of the spectrum, right? You go down low, and Brownie's like, he goes way up top.
Yeah,
so our laughs are all over the place. It's amazing.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. So not to call my own number, but it was good.
Yeah. I'm going to call your number too. I really like the point you made when we were talking about the uptick on the play of the defenseman. The point you made about maybe there's a little bit less coaching happening, little less detail being thrown their way. I think that was a very succinct point. And that was the high point of the pod for you before you completely derailed it with Struddy's World.
I like to balance things out, right? The good with the bad.
Good job tonight, pal. Thank you kindly. Steve, great job behind the scenes. I know we had a little trouble getting us off the ground, but you did a great job troubleshooting, and thanks for all of your patience. Appreciate you joining us here on the live stream tonight, or if you're listening in podcast form, tell your friends about it. Spread the word a little bit. We're having a blast here on Got Your Back. We're 4 episodes a week. We're going to keep crushing it right through the season. We'll have a post-game pod after next game, thanks to our title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC, as well as all of our other fantastic partners. Have a great night, everybody. Talk soon. Cheers.